Okay, students, this is day 2 for dividing fractions, and we're going to throw in those mixed numbers today. A lot of you do struggle with mixed numbers. I'm just going to briefly go over it real quick. So let's say that I had 4 2/3. Well, when we're dealing with a mixed number, and multiplication and division, it's really difficult. You want to change it into an improper fraction. I know that seems almost backward from what we've always taught you, that if you see something that's improper, okay, I've got to change it into a mixed number. But now when we're dealing with the math part of this, it's just a lot easier to change these into improper fractions to do the math. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14, and then we always just take this number. I've had some confusion that how do you get that bottom number? Well, we just take the bottom number from that mixed number and put it in the bottom, and this is the denominator. So that we take this denominator from the mixed number and put it into the denominator of the new improper fraction. All right, so with that little bit of knowledge, let's move on. Okay, so, wow, look at this. We have on our bell work what we were just talking about, that we are going to be changing this improper fraction into a mixed number, and then we have over here where we're going to be talking about a mixed number and changing it into an improper fraction. It's really important to have that skill down, changing these numbers back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You need to be able to do that. So, on this first one, this is, guys, and I just want to remind you again that whenever you see this fraction bar, it's just saying divide. Okay, it's just another way of saying divide. So we are really taking 15 and dividing by 4. Okay, so 4 goes into 15 3 times. We get 12. And I have had some confusion on this too. Okay, so we got 15 minus 12, which is 3. Now that 3 comes up here and is our numerator in our mixed number. And then we take this number right here and it goes as our new denominator right there. So my answer is 3 3/4. Okay, so what that is really saying is if I had 15/4, so okay, so if I had this 1, 2, that's broken into fourths. That's 4 of them. That's 8. That's 10. Oh, wait, no. That's 16/5. So if I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Is that 15? 8, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, that's 15. Well, how much did I fill in? 3 holes and 3/4. And that's how we got that. So that's another way of looking at that. Okay, so let's change this, this mixed number into an improper fraction. So 2 times 4 plus 1, which is 9. And we just take this number and move it on over, that denominator, and just, it's the same thing. So pretty simple there. Okay, so let's take a look at this next one. I am going to list the multiples. Now this is least common multiples. So I'm going to go 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. That's 6 times 7. 7 times 7 is 49. Is that 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. 8 times 7 is 56. Now listing our multiples of 4 is 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Okay, we got those. Now we have to find the one that they have that is common, that's the least. So I'm looking here. I have a 28, 24. Oh, I see a 28 and a 28. Those are the least common multiple. So let's circle those. And there we go. All right, so now it wants us to factor using the cake method on this last one. So I'm going to go 21 and 84. Whoa, we'll see where we go with this one. So what do they have in common? Well, it's kind of hard to see what they have in common, but if you remember, I'm going to get you started here. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I want to see what you come up with. If I add these two numbers together, 2 plus 1, I get a 3. And 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 8 plus 4 is 12. Well, does 3 go into both those numbers? Yeah, so I know that 3 goes into 21 and 84. So that's all I'm going to do on that problem. I want to see what you come up with and if you can get the right solution. So when you enter this into Go Formative for Mr. Roberts or Mr. Kurtz, for Mr. Roberts, I am looking to see today if you can get number 3 correct on your own. Give that a try. All right, some different vocabulary I just want you to be aware of when we are talking about dividing fractions is reciprocal. That's a big one. Remember, we're talking about keep it, change it, flip it. And this flip it means reciprocate. I think a lot of students forget when we get to a test or that even at the end of the school year, that reciprocate means to flip a fraction or flip something. So don't forget when we say flip it, it means reciprocal. All right, we're kind of doing the practice and the assignment all together on this one. And the reason for that is that there are some kind of tricky ones that we want everybody to feel comfortable with. So let's look at this side of the paper first, the one that says lesson 6 at the top. Now, you're going to encounter some different things when you're doing dividing fractions. The first one that you're going to run into is just regular, and there's not an example on here. It's just a fraction divided by a fraction. You're also going to run into mixed numbers divided by whole numbers. So let's talk about what we do when we run into a mixed number. Now remember, we always change a mixed number into an improper fraction when we are doing something to it, whether it's multiply or divide. We have to change it into an improper fraction. So on this first one, we have 2.5. So I don't like this improper fraction. So I'm going to change it into I don't like this mixed number. So I'm going to change it into an improper fraction. So we do that by going 2 times 2 plus 1, which is 5. And then we just bring that denominator down. So we're going to keep that because that's the first fraction. We're going to keep it. Then we take this symbol and we're going to change it. And then what's another way of writing a whole number as a fraction? Well, we put it over 1. Well, we have to flip that or reciprocate it. So it becomes a 1/3. Now we always check to see cross products here. Do they have anything in common? No, they do not. So all we have to do is multiply. So 5/6 is my answer. Not too bad. That was pretty simple. Let's take a look at the next level here. So number 2. So we want to go with that. Now we're talking about 2 mixed numbers. So, well, what did we do with 1 mixed number? Well, we turned it into an improper fraction. We're going to do the same thing here. So to do that, 7 times 1 plus 2 is 9. Bring down the denominator. That's my keep it. This is my change it. And now we're going to go 2 times 2 is 4. Plus 1 is 5, and then, so that was 5/2. Now we have to flip it to 2/5. There's no cross product here. 9 and 5 don't have anything in common. 7 and 2 don't have anything in common. So we just have to multiply across. So we're going to get 18/35. Okay. Let's go down to this next level here, and we have a mixed number with a regular fraction. And you can see different variations of that. So let's try this one out. Okay, so the first one's a fraction, so we're going to keep it. Then we're going to change the symbol to a multiplication. And then this is a mixed number, so we have to change it into an improper fraction before we flip it. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, so that turns into 3 over 2. Now we flip it, or reciprocate it, and I can see that we do have a cross product here, not here with the 1 and 3, but right here with the 2 and 6. And I've been showing my students this. 2 and 6, we have a common factor, which is 2. The 2 becomes a 1, the 6 becomes a 3. So this becomes a 1, this becomes a 3. Now we just need to multiply across. So we have 1 times 1 is 1, 3 times 3 is 9. And just so you can kind of see that, I went 1 times that new 1 is 1. And this new 3 times that 3 is 9. And that is my final answer. I always check to see, does this fraction simplify? Well, no, it doesn't. So that is my final answer. Okay, so on that side of that paper, I feel like you guys can do most of those. I mean, it's pretty easy. If you do have questions, come see your teacher and we will help you out. Now let's take a look at this. This is kind of more of the same, but it's basically the same. So we're just going to practice that keep it, change it, flip it. So we're going to keep it, change it. This is 9 over 1, so flip it, and it becomes 1 over 9. Can I is there any cross products here? No. So we're just going to go 4 over 45. And that is my final answer. Let's go skip down a couple. We did one of those that had a whole number. Let's go and do one of these that look complex. Let's do number 7. Number 7 is 3 1/4 divided by 3 1/10. Now remember, I'm going to say it again, when we have a mixed number, we have to change it into an improper fraction. So 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13 over 4. We're going to keep that fraction. This is the keep it, change it, so change it to multiply, and now we have to change this into a mixed number before we flip it. So 3 times 10 is 30, plus 1 is 31/10. Now we're going to flip this guy. So this is the flip it. So it becomes 10 over 31. All right. Do we have any cross products here? Yes, we do. We have the 4 and the 10 that can be cross product. So we're going to go, okay, 4 and 10, they have a 2 in common. That becomes a 2, that becomes a 5. So my 4 became a 2, my 10 became a 5. Now all we have to do from there is multiply. And if it's an improper fraction, then we have to change it back into a mixed number. So what is 13 times 5? That is 65. And then 2 times 31 is 62. Oh my heck, 65 over 62. Uh-oh, the bigger number's on top. What do? We have to change it into a mixed number again. I know that when I was a student, that was sometimes the most aggravating part for me, is that I did all this work and I got to here and I'm still not quite done. But you can do it, have the endurance, get it done. 65 divided by 62 goes once. We have a 3, 1 and 3/62 is how you say that fraction. So give those a shot, guys. I know sometimes there's a lot of stuff going on. It's okay to use a piece of scratch paper. It's okay that this is a hard thing. You guys can do hard things. I know that you can, because I did it. And almost all of your parents have had to get through this at some point. So if you're just finding that this is hard, don't give up. Keep trying this over and over again. This is where we want you to practice, and practice makes it so you can get perfect at it. Okay, guys, good luck, and give this a shot, and we will talk to you later.